Oh.
Hey, Silver, I got your mail again, and what happened?
Drinking game. New one. Commander Firebrand's idea.
So this starts off with another festival. Hey, Silverquill, I think we found your next drinking game.
He kneweth not what he'd unleashed.
So, how many town festivals are there?
A lot.
Okay, let's get you some Starbucks, and then we can make with the reviewing.
Oh, do we gotta?
Well, we can always do another drinking game. Every time you see Rarity use a gem in her designs, take a shot.
No, I want to live.
Get back here!
I'm so excited, and I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
It's not really a good idea to come into an episode with baggage or a hangover. But this episode has special meaning for me.
Define special meaning.
While at BabsCon, I got to sit in on a panel called It's a Mare's World, where the female staff members talked about how MLP is one of the few cartoons to feature a female-dominant cast. When I asked about the challenges for writing a male character like Spike in a female-dominant setting, they shared a laugh about how they abused him, and Amy Keating Rogers said there simply wasn't room for Spike. In a series with 6 strong female leads, it's already crowded without focusing on yet another character. And, well, that is something we've seen in past Spike-centric episodes. The episode may be about him, yet he only causes the problem, and it's usually up to the main 6 to find the solution.
I have an emotional connection to this episode as well, though as a creator pony like Rarity. Really, I can totally see why Rarity would experience the internal conflict she has in this episode.
As the town prepares for yet another festival, Rarity is preparing a puppet stand to entertain the foals, and Spike is his usual worshipful self.
How could it not be? You're the one making it.
But Rarity got so caught up in making the puppet theater aesthetically pleasing, she forgot to balance that aesthetic with functionality, like the Puppet Master, or who I like to call Snips in 30 years, stated. However, to call the piece awful is a stretch. Rather than be constructive, he opted only to accentuate the negative.
Well, unfortunately, that's how a lot of clients can be in real life. Still, Rarity takes it in stride. Is that really the best way to deal with... Right, never mind.
You know, the writers probably took a lot from home with Rarity's conflict.
How do you mean?
Well, think about it. They put their hard work out there, trying their best, and sometimes they're faced with overtly hard criticisms without any regards for accentuating some balancing positives.
Oh, you mean like those online critic jerks?
You mean us?
No. Well, yes.
The writers, animators, and directors try to bring what they imagine and what they themselves want to watch into a physical manifestation with these episodes, with as much quality as they can muster. Any pony who is a visual artist, musician, writer, or content creator in general knows the difficulty when they just can't get what they imagine to become in real life how it looked or sounded in their head.
Just because the attendees are young doesn't mean they don't deserve my very best creative work.
This episode has very meta subtext, yet they succeed in not making it completely one-sided, of they're right and perfect, while the critics are wrong and idiots.
I hadn't thought of it that way. However, I feel it's important to note that even though it's not fair, time and hard work don't always equal recognition. People will criticize the final product, and sometimes you just need to count yourself lucky if you get constructive feedback. Since we can't control how people act, the only thing we can do is suck it up, learn from the experience, and move forward. And this is one of the benefits of Rarity's character. More than any other member of the main 6, she represents working in a professional environment. Unfortunately, she's still stuck in that grief phase. So Spike, the ever-helpful dragon, decides to do the only practical thing and traverse the Everfree Forest to visit the ruins of the old castle and find some magic to help. You know what? I'm calling it right now. Hey, Everfree. Hey, Everfree, you're lame. The fire swamp and the scariest cave in Equestria called, and they've decided that they're way more dangerous than you, Forest of Lame.
Think you'll regret that later?
Why would you say that? Ah!
Just a thought. Anyway, I love this scene of Spike searching for the book. With him and Owlicious' banter towards one another, the cleaner look at the library being a subtle callback to Power Ponies, all leading up to Spike finding convenient secret passageway number 453.
I swear, if Spike had a cutie mark, it'd be a secret passage. He's got a knack for finding these things. I have no comeback for that.
No! No!
Spike gets the inspiration manifestation, nearly dying and giving Owlicious a heart attack, and gives it to Rarity, who, while initially hesitant, accepts the book. Suddenly, she has the power to materialize her thoughts, starting with giving the manifestation a makeover and fixing her faulty puppet theater.
But all's not well, as Rarity's magic isn't her usual blue variety. In fact, it looks very different, with a thicker and more opaque aura. Usually, a pony's magical aura matches her eyes, while green seems to be reserved for evil magic.
What?
You are saying, honey?
Oh, sorry ladies. Anyway, Spike trails after Rarity as she makes improvement after improvement to the town. Or at least she thinks she's making an improvement. Going back to form over function, Rarity's simply making things that she thinks look nice, but aren't what the town ponies want or need.
Try that one over there. No, that leads to a shoe closet?
Back in my Bats review, I mumbled something about how the ponies were using magic to solve all their problems, which was an abuse. In almost every case in this show, a magical solution has backfired, as it should. If you could just solve all your problems with a quick spell, there would be no tension and therefore no conflict.
Spike tries to talk things out with Rarity without actually stating the problem. While sometimes this can work, and I won't lie saying that I've never utilized this tactic before, it is not the correct way to go about this situation, no matter if the person you're talking to is someone you care about or not. And Spike sees this because it does nothing but encourage Rarity's addiction to the magic. It's also interesting how, while Spike would usually be smitten blindly, even he is slowly starting to understand the repercussions of his actions. It's really showing some development from him from Season 1.
Now here's something odd. With all the debate over Pinkie Pie's humor this season, here's a scene that may be one of the funniest jokes in the series.
Happy day too? Huh?
How surprised does she have to become speechless? The mind boggles.
It just boggles me that they finally brought Octavia back. Or is she an Octavia clone?
So we have a Spike-focused episode where each of the main six has at least one short comedic moment. That's a nice balance. I'll definitely remember Fluttershy and Pinkie's reactions, and a little slapstick from Rainbow isn't unwelcome. I guess the only ponies who didn't make a big impression were Applejack and Granny. Heck, they could sell that card off, buy a new one, and make a nice profit.
The main six are trying to find out who is causing all this commotion, never realizing that their one friend, who is a unicorn, who is the most creative of the group, and whose designs are extremely similar to the designs of the mishaps, isn't present. But I will give that to the chaos, and at that point, Rarity's designs were becoming farther than her usual perfection, to say the least.
Princess Twilight! The gazebo has been turned into solid crystal, and 2 ponies are now trapped inside its walls!
Congratulations, Mayor! You still have a role. Asking a royal to fix your problems. Spike tries multiple times to take the book from Rarity's satchel, almost always being met with a death glare from Rarehulk. But with the help of Owlicious, he finally nabs the book, and eats it.
I'm actually thinking of the Discworld book series right now, where an enchanted treasure chest ate and held the most magical book in reality. It gave the chest indigestion. I can only imagine how Spike is gonna feel.
Have we really stooped to toilet humor in a show about candy-colored ponies?
In the most literal way possible. And as Rarity completes her crusade to Fabulous, she turns her green-lit eyes towards the rest of Equestria, which means that Spike has exhausted all options. She won't back down, he can't stay silent, and stealing the book didn't work. It's time for Spike to do something for which he hasn't had an opportunity. Criticize Rarity.
I should have told you the truth at the very beginning, but I didn't because I was trying to be a supportive friend. But instead, I let you become something awful.
Awful?
I take back that Rarehulk comment. She's now the Raricist! Oh, shut up. You've made worse. At least I don't need shades to make bad wordplay.
Putting aside the romantic debate, Spike is needed to grow up enough that he's not afraid to speak the truth to a pony he admires. This is a nice, sincere moment, and the first time that Spike has truly solved a problem he created. His spoken truth breaks the spell, and Rarity delivers the moral of the day.
You should never be afraid to tell me the truth. We're friends, remember?
So after Spike writes in the diary, Twilight comes in and whoa, Twilight! Way to show the fun of Prince system, eh? Also, even though we don't see it, mentioning Luna and Cadance helping out was a nice touch.
Princess Celestia is not mentioned, but hey, somebody's gotta be on the throne. Seniority has its privileges, and that's Inspiration Manifestation, the second of 3 Spike-centric episodes this season. Though I'm not really sure I'd count Power Ponies.
Well, I love this episode immensely. Not only was the story well told and the pacing fantastic, probably some of the best pacing this season, it really provided some great character development for our favorite dragon and the underutilized relationship with Rarity. But I have to say, the moral is what truly sells it for me. That while criticisms are hard to receive and even hard to give, they are necessary for all of us to grow, whether you be an artist, a singer, or heck, even an analyst. And for that, this episode is not only in my top 5 favorite episodes of this season, but also in my top 5 of the series.
Now, going back to Amy Keaton Rogers' assertion that there's no room for Spike, I think this episode proves otherwise. Yes, the main 6 had a reduced role, but none of them were forgotten. The show can still be called My Little Pony, and it will still focus on the main 6, yet I really do hope that they'll focus more on the world and not just on the clique. Also, there's a debate going online that the dark magic of the book could be seen as a metaphor for substance abuse.
How so?
Well, we start off with justification.
If I wasn't supposed to have it, it wouldn't be so easy to get.
Followed by initial rush of the first-time user.
Oh, I have never been better. This book you've given me is amazing.
Then concealment.
Won't that be a fun little secret for the 3 of us to share?
Abuse.
Your constant praise and adoration driving me to even greater heights until there isn't an inch of Equestria that hasn't been utterly transformed by my creative genius!
And even taking away the source doesn't cut off the addiction. It's only when a close friend holds an intervention that the user starts addressing the problem.
I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I'm so excited! I'm so...
Scared?
This may be a case of the fans assigning more meaning than the writer intended, but is that a bad thing? If it works in the context of educating kids, then I'm all for it. Just no more town festivals, please, please, pretty please.
Speaking of substance abuse, how much coffee have you drunk?
I don't know, a few, a dozen, a few baker's dozen. But hey, I don't have a headache anymore and I'm feeling really pumped and jazzed and I don't know why
People say jazzed anymore because it's really cool. And I think I'll just go for a walk or maybe I'll just stay in place because everything's getting real fuzzy.
Why are you fuzzy? Please stop being fuzzy. Hey, who's that? That's a funny looking pony. It's all drawn real funny and standing on 2 legs. Why is it standing on 2 legs? This is all very strange. Hey, different. I can see you. Where's go? Hey, what's going on?
I'm sure he'll be back to talk about the Equestria Games. I'm Keyframe. Me and Quill looked at point A, point B, and everything in between. Thanks for watching, every pony. Now I gotta get out of here before people start blaming me.
Boys, boys, boys!
I want my liquor back.
The bully ones a brute, but some I think are awfully cute. Boys, boys, boys! Most of them make such noise.
Ugly grunts and nasty snores.
Some write lovely book reports, but they play so rough and tough